The Young and the Restless spoilers. Victor Newman and the Shadow of Revenge, a dangerous game. Victor Newman, the indomitable patriarch of Genoa City, was no stranger to threats, betrayal, and vendettas. His legacy, built on ruthless ambition and unwavering control, had earned him countless enemies. Yet among them, few had the audacity or cunning of Jordan Howard. The lingering mystery of Heather's death had set the stage for a confrontation years in the making. With Victor at the center of a storm that threatened to engulf him. Victor's unease. Recent events had left Victor in a state of uncharacteristic unease. Heather's death, shrouded in secrecy and suspicion, weighed heavily on his mind. Despite his attempts to uncover the truth, the deeper he delved, the murkier the waters became. He had his suspicions about Jordan, but the puzzle wasn't complete. The pieces didn't quite fit, leaving Victor frustrated and cautious. In the solitude of his study, surrounded by the trophies of his achievements, Victor replayed every detail of Heather's untimely demise. "There's something I'm missing," he muttered to himself, his piercing eyes scanning the notes and files sprawled across his desk. Something. Or someone. The ghosts of the past. Victor's history with Jordan was anything but simple. Years ago, he had discovered her involvement in a plot against him, a web of deceit that nearly cost him his empire. Enraged, he had taken matters into his own hands, luring her to his infamous secret basement, a place where many of his enemies had met their end. But his plan to eliminate her was foiled by none other than Michael Baldwin, his trusted legal advisor. Michael, ever the voice of reason, had intervened, convincing Victor to let the law take its course. "You can't go down this path, Victor," Michael had warned. "Not again. You have too much to lose." Reluctantly, Victor had relented, letting Jordan escape with her life. But the memory of that night lingered, a stark reminder of the thin line between control and chaos. Jordan's vow for revenge. For Jordan, that near-death experience was a turning point. The humiliation, the fear, and the loss of control burned into her memory, fueling her hatred for Victor. She had barely escaped with her life, but the scars, both physical and emotional, never healed. Now, years later, she was back, more determined than ever to exact her revenge. "Victor Newman will pay," Jordan whispered to herself, her voice trembling with rage. "He'll know what it's like to lose everything, to live in fear." Jordan's plan was as calculated as it was personal. She began by sending Victor a series of cryptic, threatening messages, short but chilling reminders that someone was watching, waiting for the perfect moment to strike. The messages were designed to unsettle him, to make him question everyone around him. Victor's calculated response, Victor, seasoned and unyielding, wasn't easily shaken. He read the messages with a calm exterior, though inside, his mind was working tirelessly to identify the threat. "Another coward, hiding behind anonymity," he scoffed. "Let them come, I've faced worse." But even Victor couldn't dismiss the growing sense of unease. His years of experience had taught him that every threat, no matter how small, had the potential to become a crisis if left unchecked. To ensure his safety, Victor tightened his security. His estate became a fortress, guarded by a team of highly trained professionals. Every visitor was screened, every interaction scrutinized. "I won't give them the satisfaction of catching me off guard," he told Nikki one evening. "Whoever they are, they'll regret challenging me." Nikki, ever the voice of caution, tried to reason with him. "Victor, you can't live your life constantly looking over your shoulder. Maybe it's time to step back, let the authorities handle this." But Victor shook his head. "You know better than that, Nikki. I didn't get where I am by relying on anyone else. This is my battle, and I'll fight it my way." The escalation. Jordan wasn't deterred by Victor's precautions. If anything, his increased security only fueled her determination. She began to orchestrate small but deliberate attacks on his empire. Leaks of confidential information, sabotage of key deals, and whispers of dissent among his employees. Each move was a calculated strike, designed to chip away at his control. Victor, though aware of the attacks, remained steadfast. "Let them try," he told Michael during a private meeting. "Every move they make brings me closer to uncovering their identity. And when I do, they'll wish they'd stayed in the shadows." But Jordan had no intention of stopping. She wanted Victor to suffer, to feel the same helplessness she had felt. And she wasn't alone. Ian Ward, a longtime adversary of Victor, had joined forces with her, combining their resources and expertise to create a formidable alliance. Nick's investigation. Unbeknownst to Victor, Nick had been conducting his own investigation into Heather's death and the threats against his father. Nick's instincts told him that the two were connected, and his search for answers led him to uncover unsettling truths about Jordan and Ian. "Dad, you need to know something," Nick said during a tense conversation at Newman Enterprises. "Jordan and Ian? They're not just threats from the past. They're here now, and they're coming for you." Victor nodded, his expression unreadable. "I expected as much. They've always been cowards, hiding in the shadows, but I won't give them the satisfaction of seeing me afraid." Nick, however, wasn't convinced. "You're not invincible, Dad. They know your weaknesses, and they'll exploit them. We need to work together on this." The climax, a dangerous encounter. The tension reached its peak during a gala hosted by Newman Enterprises, a perfect stage for both celebration and confrontation. As the night progressed, Victor remained watchful, his sharp eyes scanning the room for any signs of trouble. Jordan, disguised among the guests, watched him from a distance. Her plan was in motion, and she was ready to strike. But Victor, ever the strategist, had anticipated her move. As Jordan prepared to make her presence known, she found herself surrounded by Victor's security team. Victor himself approached, his expression a mix of triumph and cold fury. "You didn't think I'd let you get away with this, did you?" he said, his voice low but firm. "You've underestimated me for the last time." Jordan, though cornered, refused to back down. "You can't stop me, Victor. You may have won this round, but the game isn't over." Victor leaned in, his voice a menacing whisper. "The game was over the moment you set foot in my city, and I always win." The aftermath. Jordan was removed from the gala, but the battle was far from over. Though Victor had thwarted her immediate plans, he knew that her thirst for revenge wouldn't be quenched so easily. The game of cat and mouse continued, with both sides preparing for the next move. Victor's resilience and strategic brilliance remained his greatest strengths, but even he couldn't ignore the toll this battle was taking on him and his family. As the shadows of revenge loomed larger, the Newman Empire faced its greatest test yet. The legacy of power. Victor Newman's journey was a testament to the complexities of power, loyalty, and revenge. His battle with Jordan was more than just a personal vendetta. It was a reflection of the dangerous game he had played his entire life. As he stood on the precipice of another conflict, one thing was certain: Victor Newman wouldn't go down without a fight.